Hey, it's Vanessa, the Crafty Gemini. I post weekly videos right here on my YouTube channel, and in this free motion quilting video, we're working on some straight line quilting motifs, and I'll show you samples in my table runner. Alright, so welcome back to my free motion quilting series. If you're new to this series, make sure that you click the graphic right here, and that will take you to the entire video playlist where every single video in this series will be archived indefinitely for you to watch, alright? In this one, we're going back to some basic straight stitches, but we're going to switch it up a little bit and have you do some different lines. So in our last video, we had you do some kind of zigzag lines where you're going just with straight lines, going from one line to the next and back and forth in a zigzag motion, and then after that I had you practice some simple ones where we're going down on a previously stitched line, then across, then down on another stitched line and across. And so we're still working on keeping our stitches consistent and smooth and slowing down when we need to get on to the next line or do whatever the next motif is going to be. Now on this other half of my quilt sandwich here, we're going to do a little bit more free motion. So I don't have any guidelines here for you to actually follow. Instead, I want you to think in your head of block letters. It's specifically the capital letter E, F, L, things like that, H, those kind of letters where it's just straight lines going back and forth, and that's what we're going to do here. So you can start wherever you want to. Remember that I'm not actually starting and stopping my stitches in these exercises the way I would normally do it in a quilt because it takes a little bit longer. But you can always go back and watch one of the first videos that I uploaded in the series to learn how to do that specifically. So let's start here. Alright, I'm into my quilt sandwich now. I'm going to just work on block letters. So I'm going to come down, stop, walk over a little bit, stop, come back up, stop, back over, down, and this is really free motion because I don't know where I'm going next. I'm just going to keep my stitches going and just do whatever I want. Let me come back around here to show you further down. Down, in this blank space I have here, I'm going to swing it over this way. Come down and around, come up, and I'm going to slow down my stitches here because there's no point in me trying to control it with my foot when my machine has the speed control right on it. There we go. This is a nice consistent speed for a small sandwich like this. Do a backwards letter E right here, and it's just like all these nice chunky blocks that you're making. Okay, just work your way around, and if you need to stop, stop, kind of look at the situation and see where you have some space to go left, to go right, and basically plot out your next move. A lot about free motion quilting is really thinking ahead and planning out where you're going to go next. This is not the ideal situation where I'm up above my machine. You definitely want to find yourself a comfortable position to be seated down so that you can see behind it. I have a hard time just from the angle that I'm standing at here to see where I'm going next, so that's why you see me stopping a little bit more than I normally would. I totally didn't see I had that other stitch line there. I couldn't see it from where I was. So if you're at a lower angle, you can definitely see a little bit better where you need to go. Alright, so now I'm going to swing across here and come back down and just keep practicing those nice consistent straight stitches. Stopping when I need to. Assessing the situation and moving on. Let's do a backwards L here. There we go. And just practice. Sometimes it helps when you stop on a corner before you pivot, just keep it there for a stitch or two so that you don't end up kind of curving your edges. Instead, you make them a little bit crisper and straighter. So I'll show you the difference. If I don't stop around the corners, that's what happens. You see that rounded edge here? I know that I want to go down, but because I just swung my quilt sandwich around and down, I didn't really get crisp, defined edges like I did here. So when you stop on a corner, it'll look more like this. Stop, 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 stop. You see how I just take a second at those corners to give myself more pronounced corners. Make sure you keep those fingers back and away. Alright, so I'm just going to finish this little bit here so you can see a little bit more about how I'm holding the sandwich and what I'm doing to get my stitches, and then we'll move on. All right, and I think that looks pretty good. All right, so we're done with this first sample, and I just wanted to note that there are some spots here where I left a lot of space. So if you did want it to be like this, that's fine. If you wanted to make your stitches even tighter and closer together, that would work fine as well. Just keep in mind that the more tightly stitched your quilt is, the heavier it's going to be, the stiffer it's going to be because it has more stitching, right? There's more thread in there, and the stitching is really going to give it more of a stiffer feel. So if you're wanting for a more loose, more drapey look, then definitely go ahead and leave even bigger spaces than this on your quilt project for you to finish it, and that will even help you finish it faster, okay? For the second bottom half here of this sandwich, I'm going to work on the similar design, just have it be a little bit tighter, okay? So you can see the difference in there. So once you get this down a little bit more open space, go ahead and move down here, and we are now going to do the spacing a little bit tighter. Just take a few stitches to start, and I'm going to do a lot of longer lines. Kind of like straws, we'll call these. I don't really have names for stitches. It's just all doodling to me. Like piano bars, right? Piano keys. So I'm going to do a few of these, and now let me swing it around and do some of these sideways. Nice and consistent movements. And these are great little simple designs to do in like borders, and sashing. Stopping when you need to, rearrange your hands, fix your quilt sandwich. They don't all have to be consistent. You can make a longer one, a shorter one. Alright, and I think I'm going to stop there. Let me just show you this sample, and I hope that gives you a good idea. You can see they're the same design. I was just a lot tighter, more precise with this one. You can see the difference in the two different designs. So definitely play around with those. I think these are really great background fillers. You can use these in negative space. You can use them pretty much anywhere you want in your quilt project. And if you're a beginner, these are great just straight lines. You know, we're still not getting into the curves and doing more intricate designs, but just straight lines back and forth. And these are great designs for you to try out. So I know sometimes when you see the sample stitches on the sample quilt sandwich, it's a little bit hard to imagine it on an actual project. So I do have a table runner that I made here that I wanted to show you the same design where I did it here in Free Motion Quilting. Now this is a table runner. It's my mini Tumbler table runner. This is a project that I teach in my online quilt club. There's a full video course for this. If you want to check that out, make sure that you click the link I've included in the description box below. That'll tell you all about my subscription-based online quilt club. But let me show you here on this little table runner, what I basically did was I split up the entire table runner into different sections. I just did like wavy stitch lines to kind of partition it off. And then in this section here, I went and did the same stitch design that I did here. You can see how it looks in the project. It's really cute and simple, and you can really make it any size you want, tweak it any which way. And then also I used a variegated thread. So you can see how it looks on a darker fabric here. It really shows up because you can see the pinks, greens, blues, yellows, and all that. So that's another option for you when you're quilting, is to switch up the thread colors. And instead of having it just match, either have it be something fun like a contrasting thread or add a little bit more variety to it using a variegated thread. And that's it for this free motion quilting video as a part of my video series. Remember, if you're new to the series or you want to watch more free motion quilting videos from me, make sure to click the graphic right there, and that will take you to the full video playlist where all the videos are archived just for you. All right, so get your quilt sandwiches out, give these exercises a try, and if you do have a small sample project on hand, consider doing what I did on my table runner, and that is sectioning off your project and practicing out some different free motion quilting designs, the ones that we've already worked on, right onto your project. A little tip, if you work with busy fabrics like I did here, you'll be able to hide any little mistakes or mishaps that you have in your stitching, but it'll still be great practice. So that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the video with a thumbs up below, share it across the different social media sites, and don't forget to click the subscribe button so you won't miss out on any of my future videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.